All right, welcome. My name is Jay O'Brien, and this is our first introduction video for interactive media. This is Mass Media Multimedia 2325. I wanted to talk to you about just getting started, how things are going to be structured, get you introduced to me, and how we're going to communicate, because I want to try to make sure that you guys are as successful as possible in this course this semester. So as far as introductions go, again, my name is Jay O'Brien. I am an adjunct instructor at Laramie County Community College. I used to be a full-time instructor there, and I've gone back to the dark side, as some people might say. I'm working public relations out at the Wyoming Department of Transportation now. Again, I should say, I actually worked there before I was at the college. So as I'm an adjunct, there's going to be some certain challenges. I have a lot of experience teaching online classes. I've been teaching for 12 years, so this should be pretty smooth. And I'm a reasonable guy, and I want you guys to have fun and succeed. So if you put forth the effort in this class, I'm going to give you the same effort back, and we shouldn't have any issues just because I'm not on campus all the time. And we'll talk about how to communicate with me, what are the most effective ways and whatnot. So that you guys are comfortable and get all your questions answered. So let's talk about what the course is. I get a lot of people who sign up for this course and they don't necessarily 100% understand what they're getting into. The Interactive Media Design course is a course that should help prepare you to manage some larger scale projects. That's really what this project is. In fact, this course is, we're going to talk about principles of usability and how people interact with products, and things that people who design interactive products need to understand about users on the front end, so that they can design, the project, the delivery, the design, the back end, the actual functionality of the piece. But the purpose of this course is to help you understand that there's a lot of work that goes in on the front end, or at least there should. If it's a good product, there should be a lot of things that happen on the front end of that. And it takes a lot of structure and time and resources to deliver a large interactive project in a meaningful way, so that it's really useful for the end user. So the class itself, interestingly enough, we're not actually going to be developing the interactive pieces in this class. So that's the next thing that students get hyper over, is that they hear interactive media design, and they start to see some of the products, and they think, well, I can't actually program. That's okay. This class isn't necessarily about program. In fact, we're not really going to get into how to technically deliver the product. This is about the management, the front end design and management of the product, setting it up so that we can work with a team of people, including developers, to actually make the project happen. Okay, so that's an important distinction. What you're actually going to be producing as part of this class is the documentation that you would then deliver to a team of designers and developers, so that they would have a roadmap to complete the project. Okay, so hopefully that helps with calming some anxiety and helping to understand what it is. So there is going to be design. You are going to design some things very basically. You're going to create some mock-ups, some prototypes, but they're not actually going to be functioning prototypes. So it's more about the documentation for this class. All right. Navigating the course, and let me go ahead and get my screen share going here. So let me do that. Okay. All right. So how the course is set up, and just to give you an idea. Okay. So the interactive media, you should have something that looks something like this. This is the course right here. And just like any other course, if you've taken a course from me before, I structure things very similarly each time. If you click on the Content tab, here is all of the information that you're going to need. So you're going to go to week 1, and I put in the dates in most cases to correspond with the dates of the week. So this is going to be a truncated week. We just have a few days here, but there's not that much going on here. And basically, when you're in that week, it's going to give you a little roadmap. It's going to tell you what's going on. There's going to be a video. I'll actually replace this. This is an old video. I'll replace this with the video I'm recording right now. I'll also email this to you. This to you, and then you have the syllabus and the reading assignment. You know, the lecture presentation. There's a discussion, which this week is just basically an introduction. And then here's actually the lecture, the syllabus. And then this is the lab schedule, because you may need, you know, some access to, you know, if you don't have software that you're comfortable with using, you may want to use the Mass Media Multimedia Lab on the Cheyenne campus. Okay, so each week, you know, and I'll update these. These are fairly, you know, this is a course I've done before, so I have some structure here. But I've taught this class probably, this is probably the 9th time I've taught this class. But I significantly restructured the class about a year ago. It used to be a class where we actually taught Adobe Flash and ActionScript 3, and as most of you who are familiar with web technologies understand, Flash and ActionScript 3 are just, they're not really something that people are using anymore. That's gone the way of the dodo bird, and now people are developing in different ways. So the class has been completely redesigned so that it's more about management structure. So again, you know, here's, you know, the week 2, the basic roadmap where you read. There's a quiz, you know, you see the quiz down here, and your view is going to look a little bit differently. So everything is actually preloaded. I will change things. I probably will change things at least a week out or 2 weeks out in front of you. So, and I actually think that the course is structured pretty well. So you shouldn't expect to see too much. Too many changes in the course. Okay, so that's the structure. Now, every single thing in here is required. If you don't consume this content, you're going to get to the assignments and you're going to say, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. So please, with an online class, I know it can be difficult because you're completely self-directed. It's 100% up to you. You don't have a class that meets that kind of paces you necessarily, but this is synchronous. We do have deadlines. I do expect you all to work along as, you know, with the corresponding dates, and absolutely every piece of information in here is required. If you don't understand an assignment, you need to revisit the reading in the textbooks or in the course content. Okay? Of course, you can contact me with questions, but if I feel that it's a question that you should be able to answer on your own through looking at the course content, I'm going to redirect you to the course content. Okay? So let's take a look at the syllabus, and I think this link should work properly. Oh, no. Hey, I need to fix that. So let's go down here because the syllabus is also here, and I'll work on, I gotta fix syllabus link. Let me write that down. All right, so this is the syllabus here as well. I have the syllabus in multiple locations. So, you know, the syllabus is fairly basic. I do expect you to read this. I am not going to read it to you here right now. That would make the video too long, and I try to keep these as short as possible. But, you know, basic information on where the class runs. Unfortunately, again, like I said, you know, I am an adjunct instructor. I don't have an office on campus that I am going to be in frequently. I don't have set office hours. However, I am on top of email. The policy is that I'll answer emails with 2 days. I'll probably answer them faster than that, just depending on my workload at that point in time. But I'll try to get things done quickly. Understanding that my emails, I may return them in, you know, as long as 2 days. You guys need to stay on top of course content. If you're basically, I'm going to run the course so that the week runs through Friday evening. If you wait until Friday evening to start looking at the content, you're going to have problems. You need to try to get out in front of this by a week. On the first Saturday that content is available, you need to at the very least look at, okay, this is what I need to read and this is what is due this week, and then track on it, work on it through the week. If you wait until the end of the week, you're going to have problems. If you get out in front of things, you're going to be just fine. Last year, I had great success in this class. A lot of really fun projects developed through the course. I will do online office hours with you, but you have to email me and schedule those. I will try to set that up as much as possible. Online office hours, just allows us to. I use Google Hangouts, and it just allows us to, talk through. You answer questions, I answer the questions. We can screen share, so I can see what you're looking at, you can see what I'm looking at, and on and on and on. Course description, this actually is a pretty strong course description as to what exactly we're doing. So you're going to learn about things like develop a project. So user requirements, personas, navigation, information architecture, sitemaps, wireframing, prototyping, user testing. So basically, we're going to develop a product. We're going to try to make sure it works on the front end and that it's user-centered before you actually develop it. There's 2 textbooks. One of them is a little heavier than others. One of them, the Don't Make Me Think book, I think students really, really enjoy. It is a very good textbook. I think it's it's a good book. It's not even a textbook necessarily. And then there's another book's UX Design. It's a little heavier to read. It's a little harder to read, but it's still a very good book. So try to you got to muscle through that one a little bit. It's not as easy to read as the Don't Make Me Think book. Sketchbooks are a great idea. I'm going to be asking you guys to be doing actually turn in sketches of things as you're doing going through ideas, rapid prototyping, things like that. So some kind of sketchbook, some kind of paper, whatever. It doesn't matter, whatever you're comfortable with. But I like to keep everything that I have all in one place. I have several sketchbooks that I could go through and show you where I developed a project through that sketchbook. There's no required software, but there are going to be times that I'm going to ask you to mock things up digitally. I am absolutely fine with whatever you want to use for that. You can use Microsoft Office for it. You can use Adobe products for it. Whatever you want, that is totally up to you, and there's not necessarily a requirement for it. If you don't have software, the Mass Media Multimedia Lab is available to you, and the design I'm asking you to do is relatively basic, so shouldn't be that bad. This is a lot of institutional mumbo jumbo, so I'm not going to read. I want you to read it, but I'm not going to read it to you. As far as outcomes, competencies, lab availability, there is a lab schedule in there. Grading scale, 1,000 points. I keep it nice and simple. This is pretty easy. There's going to be quizzes. We're not going to have a ton of discussions, but the discussions we're going to have, I'm going to try to make more substantive, and they're going to be worth a lot of points. You have unit assignments that are worth 40 points each. This is where you're actually going to be doing the things that we study. So you're going to create personas, you're going to create wireframes, you're going to do sitemaps, you're going to write a unique positioning statement, things like that. And then the final documentation, you're going to take everything that you've created in the class. The culmination of this is you're going to put this all together in a booklet as if you were presenting this to a team of people and then handing it off so that they can deliver the project. So you're basically, your role is the project manager. You are the developer, the usability expert and other people are going to actually be programming. That's the tack we take with this. And so you're going to actually take everything, you're going to design it well, you're going to put it together in one booklet, and you're going to submit that for the final project in the class. So the good news is I'm actually going to be having you writing and rewriting and refining things all semester long that go into that. So by the time we get to the end of the semester, this should be an easy 200 points. You guys should just be slapping together work that you've been working on all semester, making sure that it's all consistent and designed well. So slapping together is not really the right term. Putting it together and if you've done well and met deadlines throughout the class, this is not going to be a big challenge. In fact, it should be a gimme at that point. If you languish, if you fall behind, if you don't turn things in, this is going to be more challenging. I do try to, I'm doing iterations, so you'll turn things in multiple times to me. You'll turn something in once, I'll give you feedback, you'll refine it, you may get peer review information on it, and then refine it, and then give it back. And then for the last week of the class, you'll actually do peer reviews, and that's worth extra credit, so 1,000 points. Standard attendance and drop policy. There's we have redlining. If I don't see you in this course space and you don't enter the discussion by Friday, I have to redline you from the course. Let's see. I have information for both online and classroom sections here. Of course, the online sections are the things that are most important to you. Late withdrawal information, a lot more institutional stuff. This is a list of things. The syllabus is like our contract. This is my expectations for you. And I expect you to read all this, but there's some really important things here. This kind of has to do with how, like I talked about, I will redirect you to the course content. I expect you to be an active learner. I can't force you to do the work here. And I can't force the information into your head. If you're not a willing participant, you're not going to learn anything, and you're not going to succeed in this class. Particularly because it's an online class. I get a lot of students who take online classes thinking somehow it's going to be easier. It is not. It is harder. I assure you it's harder. I got one of my degrees completely 100% online. It was very difficult. Online learning is more difficult from an instructional side and from a learning side from students, because you need to be more active. They are convenient because we have the ability to flex time and space. You don't have to be in that location, and you don't have to be in that location at that particular time, but that doesn't mean that you can just let it hang out. You have to get on it. You've got to complete all the reading. You've got to study for quizzes. You've got to participate. And if you're not participating, you're not going to be successful. It's going to be difficult. So hopefully you guys are here for the right reasons. I teach. I'm passionate about what I teach. I enjoy teaching, but I understand some of you take these classes and you don't necessarily know on the front end what's going to be in the class, and you may not be just 100% excited about the content of the course. You need to find a way to get excited about the content of the course. I'm trying to teach you guys professional skill sets, and it is very important to me that you hold yourselves to a high standard. And if you don't, if you're just like checking off a box, that's where you're going to run into trouble. Okay, so try to put yourself into this. Try to enjoy it. Try to take advantage of it. All right. All right. More. I'll let you guys read it. Lots of different ways for you guys to connect with me, or see what I'm active on. I have. Any video I do is going to be through YouTube, and there's a lot of videos there that you can watch from my other classes. Pinterest is for visual inspiration, so lots of resources that you can use there to try to get an idea of who I am and what I expect. More standard stuff here, and then the tentative class schedule. Okay, so the way the class schedule is going to work. The beginning of this class is lots of reading, and please do the reading. If you don't, you're gonna be lost later. You've got to be disciplined. It's really easy if you start putting some of this off, to then get into a position where you are in over your head. Because the way I do this is we're building. We're talking broad ideas here at first. We're just kind of getting you started with some of these ideas and these concepts. And we have a couple of quizzes here you can see here, but it's reading, quiz, and then first unit assignment isn't even due until the first week. And this is really basic stuff. You're just going to be doing really, unique positioning statement, which we discussed in the content, and your first information architecture. You're going to start like coming up with ideas for what your project is going to be. You're going to come up with an idea and develop a concept for an unique interactive project. Okay, and then you can see here more reading, another quiz, more reading, and then a second assignment. So you're going to have some draft mood boards. But you can see here, we're getting deep into the semester before a lot of assignments are actually due. And then in the second half of the semester, we're going to see here, I think this is about where it happens right here. So week 10, no reading assignment. It's discussion and a unit assignment. 11, no textbook reading assignment. There's not even a lecture presentation. You're just doing task walkthroughs. Week 12, no reading assignment, no lecture, discussion, and I do actually have that discussion set. I just haven't put it into the syllabus yet. My apologies. So the point here is that in the second half of the class, the first half of the class, lots of reading, lots of foundational work. Second half of the class, we're working. You're producing things, I'm giving feedback, we're doing peer reviews, you're going to be doing user testing, and then of course you have that last final documentation and the peer review. So the problem here is that if you are not diligent about keeping up with the content in the first half of the course, you are not going to know what's going on in the second half of the course. All right, so let me get back to, oh wait, here it is. Come on. This here. Okay, so that is the basic structure for the class that I have, and hopefully you find that helpful. If you're struggling, if you have questions, please reach out to me. Like, I'm pretty good on my email. I know I said 2 days. I'm going to answer. If it's a simple question, I'm going to answer it much more quickly than 2 days. If it's, if you have, you want feedback on a project early, that might take me a little bit longer because that takes a little bit more time for me to dig into something. But email me, communicate with me frequently, get into the discussions, take the discussion seriously. I might throw a few ungraded discussions in there just to keep us in contact so that everyone's feeling connected. Do not skip a week. Don't wait until Friday to get into the content. That's a recipe for disaster. So that's the basic outlay of the course. I'm looking forward to working with you. It should be, if we stay on top of things, it should be a lot of fun. And I hope it's a great semester for you guys.